What's going on, fish nerds, and welcome back to the basement fish room. It's been a while, guys. Had a lot going on, but we're back. And several months ago, I did a video about accidentally breeding African cichlids. I had accidentally introduced what I thought was a male, but turned out to be a female Red Flush Peacock into the Peacock and Hap tank, which is an all-male tank. And some aggression issues ensued. Finally figured out, oh, I got a female in there. Way I figured it out, because I mean, she was really good looking. She had a lot of color for a female, but the way I figured it out, she had a mouthful of babies. So pulled her out, put her in a tank of her own, made a whole video about that. She ended up spitting the babies in the 40-gallon that I put her in, and there was actually just enough detritus and algae and things like that that I didn't even really have to do much for the babies, and they picked on leftover food that she left behind and stuff like that, and I actually got a pretty decent batch of fry out of that I ended up keeping and raising. Unfortunately, the female did not survive the move to the new house. She actually died during the transition, going from the old tanks at the old house to coming over here and getting set up in the new tanks. She didn't survive the move. One of a few fish that happened to. And of course, you guys know I also consolidated, put a lot of fish together in tanks that used to be in separate tanks. I got rid of a bunch of fish, gave a bunch away, a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't have nearly as many fish as I did, but we are slowly but surely building out a fish room down here, and I will eventually have more than I had before. But I have recently had a lot of people asking for an update on the fry. I've been getting a lot of comments on that video where I talked about how I accidentally bred the fish, and getting a lot of comments of people asking for an update on the fry, how they're doing, how they've grown out. So today I'm going to show you those fry and how they look today, and I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with them. So let's go take a look. So here they are. These are the fry. And last time you guys saw these, they were teeny tiny little itty bitty babies. And they've grown quite a bit, especially some of these bigger males, like this guy right here. And he is gorgeous. And the colors don't even come through on video the way they look in person. They're a lot bluer in person than they are on the video. And those orange fins, man, they look awesome. And they're a lot bolder in person than they are in video as well. We do have some that are significantly smaller than the larger ones, but I'm not necessarily concerned about it. I don't think that they're necessarily runts or that they're stunted from being in the 40-gallon or anything like that. I think it's more so just they don't eat as much or as quickly as these guys do, and there is competition for food in this tank, 100%. I'll show you guys that here in a second. I'll throw some food in here, and these guys get ravenous. They go nuts over the food, so you'll see that. And these guys, some of the larger ones, like this male here, he's about big enough that if I wanted to add him to the all-male Peacock Hap tank, he's about big enough that I could. And I intend to add one or two of these males into that tank eventually, actually probably here pretty soon. I'm gonna do a little bit of rescaping, add some sand to that tank, move some rocks around, and that'll be a good time to do that. So I probably will add this guy here and maybe this guy here into that tank at that point. But yeah, they have come a long way, and some of these males are looking really good. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised the way they turned out. The coloring, that blue with the orange streaks around their fins. I mean, for one thing, I'm surprised that most of the males all look pretty similar. And then I'm also surprised that none of them look anything like the female, their mother. She was a Red Flush Peacock, and I thought that the dad was the Sunshine Peacock, the all yellow, just because him and her had been holed up together behind the sponge filters, so I assumed he was the dad. But I mean, maybe I was wrong. But either way, these guys don't really look like you know, they're not identical to anything I already have, and they look nothing like their mother. So kind of interesting the way that they have turned out. But like I said, I've got a lot of requests for updates on these guys, and here they are. They've gotten pretty big, and the males are showing some really nice color. And when I say they're big enough to go into the tank, I don't mean that they're anywhere near full size. These are 3.5 inch fish. So, I mean, they've got a couple inches to grow left still, and they'll color up a lot more and be even more beautiful as they get larger. So, very happy with these guys. I'm super stoked that I decided to keep these and raise them up rather than just letting them get eaten. All right, as promised, I'm gonna throw some food in here. These are just some cichlid pellets, and they kind of scatter at first just because of me going over the tank spooks them, but then once they realize what's going on, this is just so fun to watch. I love it. And it's like this every time. I honestly think that if I fed them every hour on the hour, they would act like this every single time. They're just crazy. But you'll notice that most of the ones going the craziest are these larger males, and a lot of these smaller ones, whether they're females or whether they're just still gray because they're a lot smaller, not getting nearly as much to eat. So I normally try to throw a little extra back in the back for them, make sure everybody at least gets some. But you can still see they don't get nearly as much as these big males do, which probably indicates why they're a lot bigger. Alright guys, so that is the update on the accidental cichlid breeding, the fry from that breeding. And honestly, I think they look great, but let me know what you think, if they're what you expected or what you think of the way they turned out. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. But for now, I'll just say God bless you, fish nerds, and I'll see you next time.